It is. Yeah, I don't know anything about racing. This is true. You're right. You're in the wrong show.
Yeah.
You're watching the wrong show if you want to hear like super engineer stuff.
And honorable mention, Alpine, because hello, French Revolution.
We're back, man.
Oh, we miss Moni.
We miss us. Look, Jack's wondering where the hell we've been, and I have the answer to that.
It is. I know. Did you get an alert that we're going back on or something? Because yeah, it's been a couple of weeks, man.
Look at this, man. That is the crew. The crew is here.
Listen, not for nothing, bro. I want to apologize to Evan because I've been meaning to get back to him, and we've been so tied up with hurricane stuff with football that honestly I haven't even been able to get back to quite a few people. So I got you, bro. I got you. You know what I'm talking about. So does Vish, but
well, look, we got a new welcome to the family.
Hey, there we go.
Awesome.
Another Kings fan that we converted to F1. Is that what F1?
It is? Yeah, I mean we got an extra. If Fernie shows up, then we can feel it starting 5 and play some ball here.
He's in Puerto Rico. I don't know if Fernie's gonna show up. But we appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah.
It's we've got a couple more weeks before the season starts again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, next there's a race not this weekend, but the weekend after. Yeah, 26th or whatever. Yeah, whatever that weekend is.
All right. So we've got yeah, it is next week. Wow, jeez. So we just wanted to kind of recap the first half of the season, talk some news and notes, and get you guys ready for next week. Next week is a crazy week, man. I'm actually going to be out of town on the weekend, but we'll be able to catch you up on the race that's happening next week. And we will also we've got so much football stuff. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, football is about to get serious. We are
in the week after. I mean, forget about it. It's chaos.
This is all getting serious.
It is. It's getting very serious. But to lighten the mood again, we kind of want let's talk about first half recap, and this is what it is. Red Bull. See you guys. Have a good night.
I mean, it's not even just Red. It's just Max. I mean, that's one word, Max.
Yeah, that's it. No, but we kind of wanted to switch it up a little bit and talk about some stuff that's not Max related, of course, and the biggest disappointments, some of the most pleasant surprises, and maybe our predictions for the second half of the season. So, it's tough. It's tough to talk about. Obviously, we wanted to kind of mention the top non-Max driver.
Yeah, because I think it goes without saying, like, if we actually did like a legitimate handing out of awards, every team award would go to Red Bull, every driver award would go to Max, and it's kind of just and yes, predictions for the second half of the season are Max is going to keep winning. So we wanted to mix it up a little bit.
We want to go a little crazy.
Well, or just talk about other stuff around the sport as well. Yes. Obviously, the answer to every question is Max.
Right. But if Max wasn't around, who would be your 2023 top non-Max driver, at least for the first half of the season so far? Who do you got? I think it's kind of tricky because you got
there's some options here. There's some options here. I think clearly George Russell is in there.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to actually go with another driver I'm not a fan of, but that's obviously one of the all-time greats. I go Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough not to.
That's where I'm going with that. Given that's a first half award, I feel like they've faded the last several races. But at the beginning of the year, he was consistently podiuming. So that's where I will go. think Lando started a little bit late to get for the whole second half. But yeah, I think, as we start talking about our first half, we start talking about second half predictions. There's probably some stuff around McLaren generally.
Right. I think everybody's excited to see what McLaren does in the second half for sure. So, and we'll get to that. My driver, it's hard for me to go anybody else, but anybody else but Fernando also. Some will say Checo, but we know, look, he's screwed up a lot in qualifying. He's screwed up a lot in
Checo is an embarrassment. We're gonna get to him later.
Yeah. Most starts without a podium ever. that is exciting. That is
and
Alonso.
I don't think I think it's Alonso. I think you could make a case for Hamilton potentially.
Right. That would have been my second. Hamilton.
Everyone else has just been too inconsistent to really.
I wanted to kind of throw in, but like you mentioned, right? I think we're going to see it more in the second half because you only saw it towards the end. But like those McLarens, Oscar Piastri is starting to drive really well too. So that one's impressive. But
I think there's another category he might fit into here.
Yeah, he just might. The biggest pleasant surprise. Would you say it's would you call that one Piastri?
It could be. There's one about best new driver, which is obviously him. Maybe I shouldn't have even done that because it's not even really I would.
Well, there's 3 rookies. Well, there was 3 rookies.
They're down 2.
Yeah, they're now 2. So,
it's not Logan Sargent, so maybe we should.
Who has been your biggest surprise?
It's a good question. Does Aston Martin count? Because they, we got rumblings before the season started. So I think last year, if you said, hey, at the winter break, Aston Martin's going to be where they are right now, no one would have been like, wow, that's shocking. But, we kind of knew coming in.
I still think it's been a pretty big surprise that they've been that. I think the biggest surprise of it all is that they've been that competitive with one car because Lance was crap, right?
We're about to get into disappointment.
So that
this is actually a good shout from Evan. Williams is not the worst team on the grid.
That's true.
That came out sending
that price too. Like he's driving really well in that Williams.
Yeah, and it's that came out sarcastic, but it wasn't. Like they've been so far off the 9th car for so long. They are clearly not the worst team.
Nope.
They're competing for points in pretty much every race, so that's a huge leap forward for them.
Well,
that's
one driver is.
Didn't Logan finish 11th once?
I think he might have finished 12th.
Does he not have any points? I gotta look this up. We don't show prep.
No, we don't show.
That's the theme.
It makes it more fun this way.
Like the Kane stuff we take more seriously. This is for.
We do.
This is Logan Sargent, Nick DeVries, and Ricardo are the only ones without points.
Well, Ricardo just got going. Not that means much, but he just got going.
Yeah, no.
But an AlphaTauri, so
Yeah, Williams is 7th. So that's
impressive. That is.
Yeah, that's there.
Who's in last? AlphaTauri.
Yeah, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo is 9th. Williams and Haas are actually tied for 7th and 8th. And there's a big gap from them up to Alpine in 6th. Yeah. Which, by the way, Alpine's another one.
I'm going to say biggest disappointment for me.
Disappointment could be Alpine, yeah.
Is Alpine altogether. Gasly and Ocon, both really good drivers, and that car, that machine.
Well, especially the way they've come apart the last several weeks. Yeah. Like they were, just for context, they were well ahead of McLaren for almost the entire first half of the season. They are now 46 points behind McLaren. Like they have completely, just the last 3 races, just completely fallen apart.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Another one. It's kind of expected, but Lance Stroll is pathetic. Yeah. And obviously, he's the owner's son. He's not going anywhere. But
you've got a strong car. You've got a competitive car, and that's what you're doing.
It's disappointing that he. Again, I don't know how much this falls on expectations and you don't expect him to do anything, but he's 9th in the championship and Alonso's 3rd, and the points gap is over 100 points, just, I mean, ridiculous.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know if that counts as disappointing, given that, you know, I don't think we have expectations for him.
Yeah, I don't think
So I will throw another one out there then. AlphaTauri, I cannot believe it's this bad. Like it is. And obviously they fired Nick DeVries. But
I think that was the biggest mistake they made, right? Was I know hindsight's 2020, but looking back, I mean, that wasn't the right move.
Yeah, that whole thing was weird. That sequence of events with Piastri and him ending up at McLaren, which then
he didn't end up at an AlphaTauri though.
Well, he was going to be Alpine.
Yeah.
And so when they actually said no, the McLaren contract's valid, that's when Alpine went for Gasly instead, which then opened up the seat that DeVries went into. Right. But I mean, Yuki's not performing in that car. That car is terrible. And so I don't think it should be that bad. So being the worst car on the grid is definitely disappointing for them.
Well, they won't be AlphaTauri anymore. I think Hugo Boss is the one that's going to take over.
Well, oh my God, we didn't even talk about this.
I know, how weird is that? So let's talk about that. Like, isn't that weird? Hugo Boss, I mean,
wait, hold on. It's not Hugo Boss. It's not just Hugo Boss. I believe it's Hugo Boss Bulls Racing.
Oh, that's right. It is.
It's really stupid. Boss,
Bulls Racing. Jesus, that's terrible. What a terrible name.
Wait, is this actually true? Is that actually what they called it? Or
what, Hugo Boss?
Hugo Boss Bulls Racing? Is that like officially announced?
I
saw the rumor. Let's just pretend it's true for now. It might not be, but because I'm Googling it and I'm getting a lot of like hits on it, but then nothing like them officially announcing it.
Gotcha.
So that might not.
Yeah, but Yuki beat Max on the monster trucks.
That's true. Yuki did beat Max on the monster truck. Yeah, Hugo Boss Bulls Racing is the rumored new name for AlphaTauri. So just another clothing company. Yeah, not officially yet. Everyone's cleaned that up. But that's the rumored name, which, I mean, are they really going to be? I guess we got used to them saying Red Bull. They're just saying an energy drink. So I don't know. This
it sounds better. Red Bull sounds better than
Hugo Boss Bulls.
Hugo Boss Bulls.
HBB.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Oh, their Brits are gonna go H.
H.
No, they're gonna say H. They're gonna say H. HBB.
HBB. Oh my God.
There's not a Z in there for them to call Z.
Yeah. So. I mean, this one's an easy one, right? You're rookie of the.
Yeah, I mean that's Piastri. That was a stupid category for me to put in there. Let's just. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not DeVries or Sargent.
No, it definitely is.
Although I guess we joked about this a little bit in WhatsApp, but I mean, so DeVries obviously got fired, and I joked, well, he's still getting paid for a vacation now, so he actually. I mean, what are Logan Sargent's long-term prospects here? I think it's pretty clear he's pulled in because Colton Herta couldn't get a super license. Yeah. And he's not been good either. And that is a car that we talked about. That's a pretty good car. Like Albon's producing in it.
I think, and I still think Logan Sargent's a pretty talented driver. And you see it in flashes though, because he has some moments like in practice and I know it doesn't mean anything, right? For a lot of people, that doesn't mean anything. But he shows some flashes of talent in practice, even in qualifying. You see him sometimes get through Q1 and then in Q2 he's fighting for a spot, to get into Q3. So like I seen that a little bit from him, and every once in a while you're like, well, I mean this kid's got something, but I think in the overall, like when it comes to having to drive 50 laps, 60 laps, 70 laps. It kind of falls apart a little bit, and maybe that comes with experience, as Evan says there. It takes 2 to 3 years for a driver to get acclimated to F1. Sure, but and this is why I think they're giving him a shot, because they see that he's got the potential, right? He's not putting it all together and
they hired him because he's American. I mean, we can be transparent about that.
I mean, that's probably another reason why he's there too. But I think he's talented. I think he's going to take a little bit of time. But look. The same could be said for DeVries, right? It takes a couple of years, but he just really bad.
He's also old.
Yeah, he's also 28, 29 years old. So whereas Sargent's what, 24, 25. So
Yeah,
he's
younger than that, isn't he?
he
I
might
think
be younger
he's
than that, yeah. He might be younger than that. But he looked DeVries looked really
22. 22.
22?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
But I don't think Sargent has, I mean, I guess how patient do you think Williams will be with him? Like everything we're saying might be true. He might need more time to acclimate and all that.
Yeah.
If they think they have a points scoring car
Right.
and he's not capable of doing that, I mean, that's a paradigm shift from when they, stuck with the TV because who gives a crap? We're 10 seconds behind everyone anyway.
Yeah, look, it's funny that Jack mentions Mick Schumacher replacing Logan.
Speaking of sucks.
I mean, so you're kind of making a lateral move there, really, right? But yes, surnames do matter in this sport. So, it's going to be interesting to see because if they pull off an Aston Martin like what they did this year and say, well, they're going to be pretty good next year. Albon is obviously clearly the the number one driver there, and he's good. He's a talented driver.
Yeah.
So now if you pair him with a guy like Schumacher, does it really change that number 2 seat? I don't know. I think that's why they might be a little more patient with Logan and give him a shot next year in a potentially more competitive car. And then if he doesn't perform, then yeah, you've got you can make a move with a guy like Schumacher or someone else, whoever else becomes a um, the whatchamacallit, the backup driver for another team or whatever. So, we'll see.
Yeah, Evan, I will say a lot of drivers can bring money in. So I don't think
Schumacher
it's
will bring money
necessary.
too. I don't think-
Schumacher will bring money. The other, I guess, the last question on this topic is: so, I mean, ostensibly, I don't think it's any secret. One of the key reasons he got the drive was because he's American.
Right.
Do you think Americans actually give a crap about Logan Sargent? Because I've seen no.
No, absolutely not.
like the Dutch are like wearing orange all over the world.
Yeah.
When Max shows up, obviously Max is the best driver on the grid right now. It's like easier to cheer for a front runner, but like I don't know anyone that's like, wow, this is great. There's an American. Like it's almost like our fans didn't care.
Well,
the truth, care.
I think the truth is also, look, a lot of the American fans, became fans with Drive to Survive, right? So, and when Drive to Survive started, there was no American, drivers that were worth, and so you start liking other drivers. You start liking the Maxes or Leclerc's and Hamilton, and so you like those guys because they're the best and they're really good and blah blah blah, and so then you've kind of developed an affinity for those guys, and here comes an American guy on on a crappy
team,
and you're like, no, I'm still gonna root for Max because in Miami, really, but everywhere you start, they're bandwagon fans, so they're gonna go after the hot team, the best driver. So yeah, you start liking winners. Exactly. So I think it's gonna be hard if you see that Logan starts performing and starts getting in those top 10s and scoring in the points and being more competitive. You might see a little bit of a shift, but for now he's gonna have to earn it a little bit. He definitely has to.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that there's been no patriotism at all around him. Like, just
I know, especially not here. He's a local kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even the Brits, like they've obviously had plenty of great drivers and have some on the grid now. They're so homeristic for their like the commentators we get are just like cheering for the British drivers, and it's sometimes like frankly ridiculous. But like I've seen nothing at all. You couldn't tell Logan Sargent is American if we didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough, but eventually maybe they will come around. So
yeah, so I do wonder though if this is now to Jack's point, to your point, if he starts competing at the top of the grid,
right,
that will change things for sure. But now I think part of the thinking, for example, when Zhou coming in from China, he's on billboards in China, he's all over China, they're tapping into that market, they're making money off of it. There's none of that here that I've seen, and so I wonder if it's going to be harder for Americans to get, because one of the reasons is you get into that new market and get like I mean, look how popular Checo is in Mexico, for example. Like there's just nothing here.
You know what the difference is, and this is the biggest difference, is that America already has another racing sport, right? It's NASCAR, and everybody's American in NASCAR. I mean, at least I think it. I don't follow it, so and so it's hard to them turn around and say, well, especially Middle America, these Midwest towns and stuff like that, that aren't really probably big F1 fans, right? It's going to be hard for them to make the switch to like, an American in a sport where it's predominantly European, and nobody kind of pumps him up anyways here in America. So it's tough. I think that's a big thing as well.
Yeah, no, for sure.
All right. What else we got there? Will anybody other than Red Bull win a race in the second half of the season? Shit, this is a tough one, man. But I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say that. Oh man, this is tough. But I'm gonna say, oh man, I don't want to give you a surprise though,
because I know the next question kind of steps on this. If you're
crazy prediction for the second half of the season, but I'm gonna say a Ferrari wins a race in the second half of the season. But that's not my crazy prediction anyway, so I'll just say a Ferrari wins a race. But
yeah, one of the things that is really challenging here is this car does seem suited to all tracks.
Yeah.
It's we already did Monaco. I'm not sure if this is about something else, but
I think Monaco already happened, right?
Yeah, it happens Memorial Day weekend.
Who won in Monaco?
It was a Red Bull.
Yeah. Was it Checo? Oh, that is a crazy prediction.
That one. Good luck with that, Jack. She has not been fired, just to clarify.
I mean, at this point,
she quite quit.
Yeah, who knows, man.
Yeah, the Red Bull thing. Like, I thought like Hungary would be a tough circuit for them, and they breezed to a win because there's not a lot of straights in there.
All of them.
Yeah, and then obviously anything with like a power circuit like Monza, they're gonna lap everyone. Oh man, the question is when Max inevitably has some kind of mechanical issue or something,
right?
Is Checo in second at the time? Yeah, because that's how the Red Bull doesn't win. If
he meant Monza.
I think the Red Bull with the power, the power they have on the straights, I don't see how a power circuit they don't just kill everyone.
Truthfully, I only see.
You know what? I'm gonna answer it. I don't think there's gonna be another.
Yeah, I think the only way they lose is if there's a DNF or some mechanical failure or something like that.
Yeah, I think it needs to be something happens to Max's car, and Checo has proven he can screw up and not finish second. And in that case, it would be winning the race. So I think those two things have to happen at the same time on the same race because they've happened individually,
right? But
not the same race. And yeah, I'm just gonna say no. I think Red Bull's gonna win every race this year.
Fair enough. So what's your crazy prediction then?
Well, that kind of ruins any kind of crazy Checo and Max crash in turn one like Max and Lewis twos. I mean, I don't think Checo's allowed to go close enough to Max to crash into him.
They don't let him.
They don't let him, and after 3 corners, he's too far behind anyway. So he would literally have to do it at the start line and by like not braking into the first turn. Otherwise, he's too far down the road to even catch up to him.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, so since I didn't pick since I went with Red Bull stock is gonna win every race, the crazy prediction is kind of limited. But I will go. Let's see. I want to do something with AlphaTauri here.
Oh God.
They will finish 7th in the constructors because Daniel Ricciardo is going to score a bunch of points.
Okay.
So they'll finish behind the Alpines, but ahead of Williams, Haas, and Alfa Romeo.
Okay, fair enough. So
keep in mind they have 0 points right now. I think so. Right? Or did Yuki get a point somewhere?
I think he might have gotten a point. Yeah.
Anyway, but they're barely in the game.
My crazy prediction is going to be that Piastri beats Lando. Like he beats him in the points by the end of the season.
Damn. So right now he is 35 points behind Lando.
All right. I think the McLarens are going to be they're going to be really competitive now, moving forward. So if Piastri can get in a little bit of a groove and find his way up into a couple podiums or even some top 5 finishes, I think that he could do it. So I'm going to say Piastri over Lando. I don't know how crazy it is, but it's kind of crazy.
No, it's saying that it's going to make him a 35-point margin. Like, he could beat Lando on the second half of the year. It's still pretty big. So that definitely counts. Question. Who's the Ferrari, sub question on this. Who's the Ferrari driver that's going to win? Because you picked one to win a race. Is it Carlito or is it Carl? Or is it Charles?
I'll go with
Is it Charles or Charles?
It's the Monegascan. Charles.
Okay.
That guy. Charles. It's Leclerc. I think Leclerc wins a race. He's finished he's finished in second. And they've been very inconsistent this year, but it's been more about, believe it or not, I feel it's been more about the driving and the strategy this year. And I think if both of those guys can drive a little bit better, they're going to make some noise in the second half, which is nice. But I think that if Leclerc can kind of get his head out of his ass, he's going to be a little more competitive, and he has a shot. He's got a shot. He's talented enough. To me, he's the second best driver on the grid. Well, maybe third behind Max and Lewis Hamilton. I think it's Leclerc, and there's no reason that he shouldn't be more competitive. So,
yeah, and they have shown Ferrari has out-qualified Red Bull a couple of times. They've shown that one lap pace,
right.
So they can somehow channel that over race distance. They might have something. I think he's only got this year on his contract.
Yeah,
as far as I know, they haven't extended it. So, he's not going to get fired in the middle of the year, but I don't think he's coming back either. I think Ricardo's getting that seat next year, to be honest. But, also, I think it was Helmut Marko when they asked him whether or not he was going to replace Perez with Ricardo this year, he's like, you can't replace him because he performs in races unlike Nick DeVries. And then he fired Nick DeVries the next week. So.
He's so brutal. He's a savage, man. He's a savage.
And so I think Checo's good at least for the rest of the year.
Yeah, he'll be all right for the rest of the year.
There's no. He's actually. We've been talking about his underperformance. He's still second in the Drivers' Championship technically. So you're not going to fire, the second place driver, even if he is underperforming pretty heavily in relation to his teammate.
Cool, man. Are you excited about Vegas?
I think so. How do you think this is going to go? It's going to be a shit show. Like, I pity anyone that's trying to actually go to this thing. But
it's a Thanksgiving. It's
Boston College game day.
It is Boston College game day, which is what we care about. But
we're so locked into football at this point. It's like, what's this driving stuff?
It's that weekend, man. That's gonna be tough. Although a lot of people go to Vegas, they like to.
Well, this is the thing. Like, Vegas is like a mess during like NBA, like All-Star Weekend and all that. How are they going to handle this level of crap? I
don't know, man.
I think it'll be cool to see them like driving through the strip and stuff. I don't know how well it's going to show up on TV, and we'll see. I think that'll be cool. It's like a novelty. Max is going to win the race, so that part's not interesting. But this could be
that night. It's a night race.
Yeah, it's a night race.
I think that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I like that.
And it might be cold.
It's November, so yeah. It's the end of November almost.
It's definitely not going to be hot because night in the desert is not a fun.
Yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be nice at the very least. I don't know, man. It could turn out to be a good one.
It's definitely interesting to see how they kind of how it looks when they're, because everyone jokes about Miami being in a parking lot or a car park as they call it. But other than actually the shot we have in the background of actually being able to see the stadium, like you can't tell. It just looks like a track they built. And I'm curious if you're actually gonna be able to see, like, oh yeah, it's like notice here on the strip. Because a lot of times you have this stuff.
Right? Didn't they spend like $50 million on some land that they bought for it, or more than that, maybe?
No, it's running through the.
Is the whole thing running through the strip? I don't think the whole thing is though. There's only a spot.
But let's should come again. We don't do show preps. Let me pull this.
Which, by the way, I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little resentment right now towards Miami Hard Rock F1. Okay?
Why?
Because, man, the parking is a freaking nightmare for football. It's a nightmare. It's so unorganized. There's so many open spots because obviously, some of it is the track, some of it is the paddock. You've got the new building there. You've got all the fencing closed off. Now you've got the tennis court as well. I'm not feeling it. I'm kind of upset. Honestly. I'm a little bothered by it. So
what, did F1's messed up our parking lot?
Yes. Yes. I'm in football mode, so now I'm hating on everything except football. You know what I mean?
All right. I don't know. I don't understand why we can't park. Like, I don't understand why we lost the parking because they don't leave everything up. So,
and it's not like half the people can afford a $3,000, $2,000 freaking ticket to go watch the race anyway. So, like, sometimes it pisses people off. I was great. I was blessed enough to go to the inaugural race, which was a lot of fun. It was also hotter than Hades, but
I was sitting in air conditioning for that.
Yeah, it was tough, man.
You actually saw cars though, so you won that round.
I guess.
I went as press, and there was no view of the actual track from where they put us. So,
I know.
I stuck
for Molino. He passed recently, beloved around the circuit. Rest in peace.
Or R.I.P. As Evan says. So just a couple of notes now that I'm looking more at this. Again, I didn't do the show prep, even though I wrote this question. 1 a.m.
1 a.m. Huh?
The track time is 10. Like 1 a.m.
A 10 o'clock race. Jesus.
Because it's Vegas, man. This is the stupid. This is what I'm talking about.
Why not do it at 8 or it's already daylight savings time, so do it at like 7 or 8 o'clock.
And then this track looks boring as.
Oh my gosh!
I'm not a fan of this track at all. I don't. They're somehow saying that there's 17 turns on this thing.
Yeah, this little thing in the corner to the right, the bottom.
Yeah.
That's
they call 3 and 4. That's just cheating. Yeah. This one's got. I guess theoretically, this one actually does have 3, 14, 15, 16 because it's left, then right, then left. But this is because I think this must be I think this is the strip, right? Or is this?
I don't know.
I'm assuming. Like, let me find I'm sure we can find an overlay.
Yeah, that track looks kind of boring, right?
Boring. It's especially boring given that we know what Red Bull does with DRS.
Right. How many DRS zones does it have? Is it 2?
I don't know that it's. They weren't identified on this yet. I don't know if they've determined it yet. I want to see where the. Let's see if I can see like an overlay. This is telling us something at least. Hold on.
Let me see it.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up. This is kind of. I don't know Vegas that well, but I can read the names off of this, which is so Caesars. This is the Sphere. This is the Venetian, the Palazzo, the Wynn.
The strip is.
So this is the end of the strip because the Wynn's at one end, and then this is down the strip. So the Mirage.
Harrah's Mirage.
Yeah, this is the strip.
I've stayed at the Mirage. I've stayed at the Paris.
I've stayed at the Bellagio and Caesars. But yeah, this is the strip. So basically, starting at the Wynn, and then down to the end of it is the Planet Hollywood. And then
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and then you go through. I know where Top Golf is.
Top Golf. Got to mention
Exactly where that is. When you get out of the airport, you drive right by it. And where's the stadium? The stadium is actually right next to that. It's right next to Top Golf where the Raiders play. It's I guess it's to the right. It's off to the right.
I haven't been there since they built that. So
when I went, the last time I went, they were still building the stadium. They hadn't officially moved there. So, but I know I saw them building it. It's like right next to the Top Golf.
I mean, this is the whole reason they did any of this was just they could have the cars go past all these famous,
right? Which is picturesque. It's kind of cool, right, for the pictures, but whatever.
I'm coming around to this. Is gonna suck.
Is this the Venetian over here with the Palazzo Venetian? That's where.
It's the Venetian.
That's the start of the strip right there, then, right?
Yeah, well, this is kind of weird. I think this is labeled wrong because those are on the actual strip, right? Not on Sands Avenue.
Oh, that's weird.
Let me see if I can get like an actual.
I found out a interesting fact today that the Las Vegas Strip is actually not in Las Vegas. Officially, it's like right outside the city limits. It's in gosh, I forgot the county. I even wrote it down. I have it all at work. But it's
how is it not in Vegas? Wait, that doesn't.
That's a true fact. It is actually right outside the city limit for Las Vegas. It's in Harlow County, something like that. I don't know whatever county it is, but it's actually right outside the actual Las Vegas. Fun fact.
Right outside the actual. That is definitely a fact I did not know. Here's a kind of. I mean, I'm not going to play this whole video, but
there it is. Okay, you can see the. You got to scroll up a little. Yeah,
scroll down. Yep, there it goes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it'll be cool to look at.
Yeah. That'll be pretty cool.
Looks like it.
Top Golf to the right there. Yeah. Oh, that's that new ball that they have in Vegas over here in
I think called the Sphere.
The Sphere, yeah, the Sphere. That's right. Ah, interesting. All right.
I think it'll be cool to look at once, and then you'll be like, "This sucks."
Yeah. All right.
And I'm not a fan of this like 1 a.m. bullshit.
Yeah, that's crap.
I don't know what to do with that.
Whatever.
Anyway. Wait, so that's on the. So it's technically for us. Then that's on. Is that on Monday?
No, I think it's on Sunday morning.
What is the date on this? This is November 19th at 1 a.m.
Yeah, we're doing this. Looks like an upside down pig about to be roasted with his legs.
You're right. It's Sunday here. So it's Saturday at the racetrack that they're doing this race.
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
Yeah, this is 10 p.m. on Saturday.
I'm supposed to go watch it at the Ale House at 1 a.m. Hey, man. We'll be in town.
Yeah, we'll be in town. We'll see how that we lose to Boston College. Oh, of course, we got the bars on tap. The Boston College game will determine the mood for the rest of the weekend, really.
Yep. Yes, it will. All right. Well, next Wednesday we've got a preview of.
I think it's Zandvoort, right?
I don't know.
That track is awful too. Speaking of awful tracks,
Zandvoort. So
yeah, it's Zandvoort. It's the one with the high banking, whatever. That's not designed for Formula One. They shove their race into.
Grand Prix? Is that the Max Verstappen Grand Prix?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The one that exists because of Max Verstappen, where the track sucks and it's not really fit for Formula One racing. But hell, they'll sell the ticket. Which, by the way, makes no sense because you can host a race in Antarctica and these Dutch people will show up and fill the stands anyway. You don't need to go to his country.
It's pretty wild. They go everywhere.
They go everywhere. So like, you don't need to go. You can put the race anywhere. They'll show up. So like, why are you going into his country? You're wasting an opportunity.
We will preview the Max Verstappen Grand Prix, otherwise known as the what is it? The Dutch Grand Prix, I guess.
Yeah, the Heineken Dutch Grand Prix. Yeah.
Heineken Dutch Grand Prix. I mean, two things couldn't be worse: that beer and the racetrack. Jesus.
Yeah.
Anyways, make sure you guys tune who wins: Max in an AlphaTauri, Sargent in a Red Bull, or Yuki in a Ferrari, or Alonso in a Williams. Wow, that's a good one. That's a really good question.
Max and AlphaTauri.
To end the show, what do you think?
Yuki in a Ferrari.
Yuki in a Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say either Yuki or Alonso in a Williams.
I don't think the Williams has it, man.
I mean, straight in
and the AlphaTauri is
straightaway spree.
Wait, I don't think he picked.
Yeah,
what track.
What track are we talking about? What circuit are we talking about? That's another one, you know.
But I would still I'd take Yuki in a Ferrari. I think it's the best overall combination.
Yeah. Yeah, Yuki definitely Yuki and Alonso.
Evan and Alonso.
Alonso and Williams. Yeah, I like that combination also.
No faith in young Logan there. By far the fastest car on the grid and win a race.
Come on, I should have voted for him. See,
no,
we don't talk about us. We can't even vote for the American when he's in the best car.
Look, man, we take this way too seriously to just give the homer answer. So
this is true. We'll see you guys next Wednesday at possibly our regular time, if not at 9 p.m. again.
Yeah, sometime in the evening. I forget when the buck is this.
So check us out, and we'll be back to preview the race and talk a little bit more about Daniel Ricciardo and Checo.
So only time we got great drama where there is none. So we'll see if Hugo Boss Bulls becomes official too. You know,
correct.
The important issues. We'll tackle the important issues.
Yes, Hugo Boss Bulls, and nothing to do with racing. We'll see you guys Wednesday.